My name is D'Andre Clayton, and welcome back to A Word Before We Leave.
And I'm Brett Gaffney. Welcome back to another episode, but we are now finally doing it in honestly a more different space than what we've done in the podcast. Yep. D'Andre, do you want to tell the people where we're at before?
This is at a yoga studio I teach at, and so this is my home domain. This is where I spend most of my time. I'm excited to be in here. I feel comfortable here. This is where I do my stuff.
And we all in the show know that we like to travel the podcast. We like to take it to your place or other guest's place and record in a place that they find themselves in on a daily basis, so we understand kind of like what your life is like. Our goal is to put ourselves in your shoes today, and my goal is to give you the platform to share your story.
Sweet.
So to start it off, we're going to start off with a segment called Word of the Day, brought to you by Merriam-Webster Dictionary. This is not sponsored, but one day it will be.
Hey.
Putting that out there, always. Today's word of the day is non sequitur. Non sequitur is spelled N-O-N space S-E-Q-U-I-T-U-R. A non sequitur is a statement that either does not logically follow from or is not clearly related to what was previously said. Their example sentence is, "We were talking about the new restaurant when she threw in some non sequitur about her dog." Now, you come up with a sentence using non sequitur, and then I come up with a sentence using non sequitur,
Okay.
and then that's the segment.
I'm just going to freestyle. Let's see what we come up with. I was in the yoga studio teaching, and as I was trying to focus on what I'm doing, I started to think about some things that were non sequiturs of what was in the room. So I got distracted.
What were you distracted by?
I was distracted by life things.
Life things, personal things.
Personal life things.
But you were supposed to be teaching the class.
I was supposed to be teaching. Still pulled it together, but the things that came into my mind were non sequiturs of what I was supposed to be doing.
That was a perfect usage of that word. And my sentence is, I was telling my roommate Ethan about a TV show when I had a non sequitur about what we were going to have for dinner that night. And that is word of the day. Welcome back to the show. And as you guys know, we go past, present, future in the way we segment the questions. So D'Andre, let's dive a little deep into where you came from, starting with childhood.
Yeah.
D'Andre, I know that as a kid, you at some point, kind of in your early 20s, around my age actually, you started to develop a yearning and want for healthy living, healthy lifestyle. You're reading books on vegan, going vegan. You're you're getting into that, right?
Yeah. You dug deep right there.
Yes, sir.
You dug
Yes,
deep.
sir.
Yeah. I was an athlete growing up. Played baseball. That was my sport. I played other sports too, but baseball was my main sport. Once I graduated high school, I went to college for a little bit, started to work. I had to kind of take care of some things for the family. Didn't play baseball anymore.
No more baseball.
So no more baseball. And like any other athlete who is like, what now? If my entire identity was based on this sport, what now? You know, so I started going to the gym, just lifting weights. And from the weights, I started to ask like, maybe I should become a personal trainer. That'd be kind of fun. I worked at Costco and did that at the same time. Personal training led me to yoga. And then the healthy living kind of came from that like personal trainer yoga kind of world right there. So I was just inspired to figure out how I can be my best self and what could give me that feeling of like it was to be an athlete.
What do you think kind of made you want to lean more into the healthy living around the time that you were ending baseball?
That's a good question. I think it was just needing to feel a sense of self-worth. You know, if you've ever played sports, you know that like that really gives you a sense of self-worth, community. You know, when you are when you're playing a sport, you feel like that's your identity, and winning and doing well in that sport just makes you feel good about yourself. So not playing anymore, I just felt lost.
Really?
You know? I felt lost. I didn't know really where I was going. I mean, I wasn't the best student. I was okay. The only thing I ever wanted to be in life was a professional baseball player. That was it. I didn't really want to be anything else other than like maybe as a kid being an astronaut or something like that, right? But definitely it was like professional baseball. So once that didn't happen, it was just like, now what? You know? And so it just made me, I was looking for something to make me feel like I had a sense of self-worth. And the first thing that came to mind was just like, hey, you know, my dad lifted weights. Let me go lift weights. He looks strong. He looks good. Let me be like him.
So when did diet come into it?
Diet came into it as part of that. I think if you start working out and you want to look, when you're 21, 20, 19.
Genetics are good.
Genetics
your
are
metabolism's
good,
through the
but
roof.
all you care about is looking good.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't really holistic like it is now. Right now, I think I'm definitely more into the mind, into purpose more so than just like physical looks. But in order to look good, you have to eat well.
You are what you eat, as they say.
Right. And I just think I took a natural interest in fitness and nutrition.
How did that shape around the relationships in your life with your family and your friends back then? Were you doing a similar thing? Like you said, your dad was also into lifting weights.
Yep.
Were you and your dad bonding over this kind of like new health lifestyle?
Not necessarily. Kind of from afar. Like we'd go to the gym at different times,
Sure.
and I'd see him, and I'd be inspired by him from afar.
You'd be like, "Hey, pops,
I
see you."
right, yeah. It was kind of my own thing. I don't think I really bonded over it with anyone specifically. My little brother, he was kind of like into it. He was younger than me, 6 years younger than me, and he was excited to like kind of work out with me and look at what I'm eating and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was kind of like my thing. I think it was a journey of self-worth, really.
And that's a long journey.
Yeah.
That's a real long journey.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at the time you started getting into Instagram and you were posting on social media, which is great for me because I can research you and I can scroll all the way through it. But for you, what is that transitional period of coming out of your 20s, moving into your 25, mid-20s, 26, and you have this phenomenal foundation of health and health and wellness. Mm-hmm. You're eating good. Mm-hmm. You're working out all the time. But was it ever a point where you felt like, I'm still not doing enough?
That's a good question. I would say yes, and that's what led me. So when I got certified to become a personal trainer, I just I need to do more. I want to do more. That's what led me to yoga. And then that's where things kind of took a turn for me for the better, and that's where I am now. But I definitely felt like I needed to do more, which I'm not mad about because that's what led me to where I've landed. And
I think it's a universal feeling to have, wanting to do more, especially I think like as a man in the modern world, I feel like there's a lot of pressure put on men in general to be something, be somebody. To fill the shoes of their parents or their mentors or the people that they look up to. Yeah. And for you, it was like you were trying to find your identity at this time, and you found a lot of gratification and satisfaction through health and wellness because not only were you looking good, but you were performing well. You probably felt better.
For sure.
Around this time, where did you start to see your future going? Do you think, like if I were to ask you 10 years ago, if you'd be teaching yoga classes today, would you believe me?
So 10 years ago, I was teaching yoga. So we'd have to rewind 15.
Okay, 15 years ago.
15 years ago. No,
because you're a personal trainer at the time.
Yeah, I was just a trainer at the time. In fact, there was maybe a year or two where I was doing personal training before I got into yoga. I was working at Costco, dude. I wasn't really much of a...
Shout out.
Yeah. Hey.
Shout out.
It was a great place to work, I'll tell you that. I was just working there and not really knowing what I wanted to do. I thought that maybe I was just going to just kind of cash in there and maybe move up and go from there.
And go corporate.
But, there was something in me that needed to do more. And that's what led me to personal training. And then the personal training and wanting to be the best I could at that made me want to get certified in other things. Once I took one yoga class, I was like, this is kind of cool.
What was that yoga class? Like, what happened?
It was just as an athlete who your worth is determined by winning, it was nice to move in an intense way, but it was nice to feel like I was enough. It was nice to feel like I didn't have to prove anything. It was nice to just move for the sake of just learning and understanding more so than winning.
There's no competition.
No competition. And when I walked out of my first yoga class, that was what was life changing for me. It's like, damn, it's nice to be able to move and explore without needing to accomplish something very specific, which is winning a game or, achieving stats or any of that stuff.
How long did it take for you to want to get certified in teaching classes?
I mean, it was
pretty quick.
I went to the studio with the intention of eventually doing the training. I did it about 6 months in, which honestly, usually you should do it for a while, right? But where I was, my mentor was like, hey, you should consider this. You'd be good at it. And I just said yes. It was weird because I didn't even think about it. I was just like, yeah, I didn't even have the money for it. I just was like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
It just felt right. It felt like it was like a canon event. Things are clicking into place immediately. You're like, this is the obvious path.
Yeah. And I'd argue that that's a lot of my life has been like that. It's just, just saying yes to things, and being open to things, because you just never really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you, if you got a chance to go back and see D'Andre when he was going through these first yoga classes, what do you wish he knew at the time that you might know now, but he didn't know it back then?
You don't have to have it all figured out. I think, in hindsight, when I look back, things are falling. I've been through all kinds of ups and downs in the last, I'd say 5-6 years, but things always kind of make sense, and they find their way to make sense. Things do start to come together. I wish I would have allowed myself to just live and go through the ups and downs, and to know that I didn't have to have everything together, right? I didn't have to have everything together at 25 or have everything figured out.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. There's room to learn things. So make mistakes. Don't move into something not knowing if you're going to be good at it.
Yeah.
Because you can't possibly predict what's going to happen. You just have no idea. You can try, but you just don't know.
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done. And so that's why I like yoga, because you learn practical techniques to help yourself work through things like anxiety and nervousness, so you can allow yourself to do that.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I lean quite anxious and nervous sometimes.
Yeah.
As a guy coming from a divorced household, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that maybe has never done a yoga class?
To get them to do yoga, or or as far as
maybe they don't really know what's the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
Like if someone came up to you and they're like, so what's the deal with yoga?
What's the deal with yoga? Yeah. It's just about understanding yourself through understanding how your body is, right? You have tension in your body, something feels weird, and you're just like, damn, what's wrong with that? I don't know what that is. Yoga gives you a chance to explore it. Hey, move and see. Does that feel good? Does that feel good? Oh, it feels good when I do that. It actually feels like I'm releasing that muscle. Oh, that's nice. You just play around, right? From a mental side, same thing. You have thoughts come up. That's okay. Negative thoughts, positive thoughts, thoughts of hope, thoughts of the opposite of hope. What's the opposite of hope? I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it.
The opposite of hope would be like pessimism, or
you're
right? Expecting the worst to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's even really a word for that.
Okay, that's interesting. When I said it, I was like, usually I'm pretty good.
It's
with
a
words.
4-letter word. I mean, there's a lot of 4-letter words.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. Some of them suck.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
But whatever comes up for you, you get to explore it, and it has information underneath it. I think one thing I've learned is we think that we're supposed to have this upward path of clarity, and that's just not how life works. You can think something is really good for you, and it turns out to be a lesson or a character development. You can think like, oh, I'm not going over there. That's not good for me. And then you stumble over there, and then you find out that led you to purpose. Yoga allows you to do this because it just says, hey, explore, breathe and explore.
Breathe and explore. I know a little bit about yoga.
Yeah.
Some people watching this probably know a little bit about yoga. What is Shavasana?
Shavasana is the time, there's a lot of ways you can explain it. Shavasana is the time where you get to lay and reflect. I would say, think of how many times you just go and you do something and you just go to the next thing. You just go to the next thing. Shavasana gives you a chance to just lay down and just let everything settle in. You moved, let the movements settle into your body. You have thoughts come up, observe what thoughts come up for you. That reflection allows you to understand what your experience is.
What do you think your relationship is with reflection?
I think that's one of the things that makes me love teaching yoga, doing yoga, and why I connect with a lot of people is because of, I think reflection is just really like what I've been forced to do at an early age. My mom died when I was 8 overnight, woke up to her, passed away. And for an 8-year-old boy, the question is like, why did that happen to me?
Yeah.
Why did that happen to me? So I think I've always moved with this sense of, why does this happen? Why does that happen? And when you have this sense of just, you're always pondering things, you come up with some pretty cool answers or some pretty cool observations, right? Because I lead with more curiosity and more reflection over like expectation.
Expectation. What's your relationship with expectations?
Because of how I was raised, not much. I think right now I'm trying to set expectations and work towards specifics just to challenge myself as far as discipline goes, because I'm really good at going with the flow.
Sure. I mean, that's your whole thing, right?
But everything in balance, right?
Yeah.
We do need to go with the flow, but sometimes you have to say, hey, look, I'm going to get up every day at 5 a.m. I don't care what I feel. I'm going to get up every day at 5 a.m.
Do you get up at 5 a.m. every day?
I try to.
Okay.
Between 4:30 and 6.
Sure.
Luckily, I have early classes to help me do that.
Yeah. You're like, well, I got work to do. I got to get out.
Between 4:30 and 6, I'm up. I would like to get up at 4 every day. That's tough, though.
I don't know. That's early.
It's
like,
early.
when are you going to bed?
I really only need about 6 hours max. If I can get 7, that's cool. But if I can get 5 to 6, I can function. I'm a napper too.
So you take naps after?
Yeah.
You're getting your 8th hour in there somewhere.
Somewhere in there. And I love
that's what matters.
I love a good midday siesta.
As long as you're not like, 3 hours is all you need.
Yeah,
every single day.
No, you need sleep.
Hours.
You definitely need sleep, right? Some people probably need more than others. I think I skew on the lower side. Mm-hmm. If I try to sleep for 8 hours, at some point my body's like, hey, let's go. We're excited. What do we got?
Get after it. Time to get after it.
That's why I say between 6 and 7 is ideal for me.
So what is rest for you? You've spent the last 10 to 15, 20 years physically moving, eating healthy, working out, doing yoga, personal training. What's rest?
That's a good question, man. And I think that might be the question that I needed to hear and ponder today.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
it's important.
It is important, and I think being 37, I'm at this age where I'm battling between what the societal expectations are of a 37-year-old. Am I there? And you start to judge yourself, and so I think I think I've found myself in the last 3 or 4 years since I've went through some big shifts of kind of being in hustle mode. And the reason why I say I might need to have heard that today is because it's like, hey, maybe I need to actually think about what rest is, because I'm just on because I'm trying to keep up with the expectations because I'm getting older, if that makes sense. So I need more rest. I need to understand what it means to just go back to when I was 26, 27, thinking I have time and like I don't need to rush anything. Hey, it's okay for you to shut it off and just chill.
That was an amazing answer. I think this is a perfect time for us to go into a classic segment, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper after the segment. This is called Wordplay. This is a game I play with every single guest on the show. It's simple. The rules are simple. Nothing in the room. We're going to say one word at the same time from a countdown. And our goal is to get to the same word.
Cool.
No names. Try not to repeat any words we've already said, and nothing that we can see in our proximity.
Okay, so just a random word.
Random word, and then we're going to try to get to the same word.
Cool.
Whenever you're ready, I'll start counting down. Let me think of a word.
Nothing in the room, you said?
Nothing in the room.
Nothing in the room, okay.
I got a word.
I got a word too.
3, 2, 1.
Egg.
Oyster.
Hey, food. Similar, all right.
I got another word.
Me too.
3, 2, 1.
Sushi.
Produce. Produce and sushi.
Okay.
I got a word.
I got a word too.
3, 2, 1.
Seaweed.
Salmon. Oh, that is close. Salmon
crazy.
and seaweed. Guys, if you're playing along, we're getting close.
We're getting close.
Salmon and seaweed.
Okay.
I got a word.
I got a word too. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Tuna.
Oh!
Yes,
We're both
sir.
in that seaweed.
That's good, yeah.
That was the sushi vibe right
Yeah,
there.
That was.
We went from, it was, our first word was oysters and
I think what did I say?
Egg.
Egg, yeah.
Oysters and
Yep.
egg, and we ended on tuna. Guys, that was wordplay. Quick game, and
That's
we're
fun,
going
dude.
back to the questions.
That's great.
D'Andre, you've touched a little bit on the passage of time, kind of subtly. I don't know if you were aware of it, but you've talked a little bit about how at 27 you felt like you had time. At 37, only 10 years later, you feel like you don't have time. Why is that? Which is a very open-ended question.
You know, community is interesting, right? Because the older you get, the people you hang out with, they have things, right? You start to when you're 15, everyone's in high school, right? When you're in college, everyone's in college. When you're 24, 25, everyone's kind of going through a similar thing, right? But
we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out.
That's
right?
where I'm at right now.
And everybody has different paths always.
Yeah.
But they're similar paths, right? Now, as we start to age, now you're starting to see, right? They have a house. I don't have a house. They are married with kids. I am not married with no kids, right? And then you start to judge that up against like, oh, well, what's acceptable by society? What will people respect me for or look at me and feel inspired by? And that's where at 37 it starts to get a little scary, right? And so that's what I would say is the difference now. I still feel like I have time, right? Deep down I understand that I have time and I'm fine, right? I'm on my path. I love my path. To be honest, I love my path.
You got a busy day ahead of you.
I got a busy day.
You were working this morning.
Yep.
Doing a podcast now.
Yep. And I love meeting with people, talking with people. I love teaching yoga classes. I'm doing everything that I want to do, right? And there's things that I want to aspire to that I have the curiosity to go figure out and I can make happen, right? So I'm in a good place. Mm-hmm. But this feeling of needing it to look a certain way right now can be a little, that can be the thing that it makes you feel like you need to rush. It makes you feel like you can't rest. It makes you walk into a room sometimes and feel like you're not enough, even when you are, you know?
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that feeling of like, oh, I'm not enough?
I got a couple answers to that question. I think the first thing I think of is do things that you really enjoy. Because I really enjoy, I love, as weird as it sounds, I feel like I just love teaching yoga classes. Specifically, I love teaching yoga classes. I would say, like, even though it's what I do for a living, it's a hobby of mine too.
Sure.
Like, sometimes I don't want to take off because I want to teach. I like it, you know? Doing something that you thoroughly enjoy, it boosts your sense of just confidence, self-worth. It just puts you in a flow state where you just feel good. So I feel like that's one way to work through it. Another way is just affirmation, telling yourself it until you believe it. Even when you don't believe it, you still have to hear it, tell yourself it. And then I think it helps.
My college professor, Anne-Marie Pollard, she had this giant chalkboard in our theater classroom. And every day we'd walk in, and on the chalkboard, it would just say, "You are enough." And we read it every day, and she'd close out class every day and be like, and remember, guys, you are enough. You do not have to try to be anything at all. You are perfect the way you are because perfection is impossible. Mm-hmm. Just be you. We're not asking you to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think in the mid-20s, for me personally, I find a lot of my time has gone towards like, how can I be the best version of myself? How can I be better for the people around me? How can I be better for the relationships I'm in and out of? How can I be better for my family and for just myself? And it's like 25 is not a fun age, but it's a fun age, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I do feel like I have time.
Yeah.
But I also want to make something of my life.
For sure.
I want the house. I want the kids.
Yeah.
I want the nice car.
Yeah.
But like,
you know, and
it's a hard feeling to have.
Yeah. And I think of, you know, when you bring it up, you know, you say you are enough, right? She would have you read that every day.
Read it every day on the chalkboard.
And it's like, what does that even mean? You know, right? What does it mean that you are enough? You know, and I think I'm inspired by it because it's just like, hey, you're allowed to live and be where you are and enjoy where you are.
Yeah.
And I think naturally, if you do that, you will just attract things.
Dude, yes.
You know, a couple, you know, in 2018, just teaching yoga, I ended up stumbling upon some people who were willing to invest in a yoga studio. And, you know, I would have never even thought that.
I was going to ask about that, but
yeah,
you brought it up.
We can go there.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that was a thing. You know, I was just enjoying teaching yoga, enjoying building community, enjoying different things, and that fell into my lap. You know, so you are enough, meaning, hey, like you don't have to try to accomplish something. Have fun, enjoy, be present, and naturally, things will start to come
your way.
It's like you shift your vibe to where things start to come to you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to try to force it or you know. Yeah.
So COVID happens.
Mm-hmm.
You have the yoga studio.
Yep.
People aren't doing in-person yoga.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You're in California.
Yep.
Mask mandates.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yoga studio falls through, right?
No, we made it through.
Oh, you made it through. You made it through COVID.
Yeah. Because of being present and loving what I do and building community because I love what I do, I was able to call in the community and we were able to make it happen. Through online classes, through people just keeping their memberships because they want to see us stay open, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? But again, stuff that I wouldn't have been able to think of could happen, right? But you're present, you're just like, hey, let me ask this. If they say no, they say no. If they say yes, they say
So is that
yes.
yoga studio still?
It's still there, yeah.
That's amazing.
It's been sold.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's still there and it's still going. Yeah.
So you started something and it's continuing. You've left a little bit of a legacy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's cool, yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And now you're teaching around California, teaching around Los Angeles.
Yep. Yeah.
What has been the present day journey now that you're almost 10, 12 years into just teaching yoga in general?
Yeah, about 13 years almost, yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah. I feel good. I feel like I feel like I'm about to hit my prime.
Really?
I feel like everything was, it was just laying the foundation, you know? I think I taught a ton of yoga classes. I was able to co-own and co-manage a yoga studio. And now it's like, okay, now what do I want to do, right? That was like a joint effort, the studio. And now it's like, now that I've been through all these different things, where do I want to go from here? And what can I build that is a long-term plan? I think I want to chase something that's a little bit more 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
What is that, if you don't mind sharing?
Some kind of, you know, I don't fully know yet. Some kind of place or studio or something where I can do what I do at the highest level. That's all I want to do with my life at this point.
And does a wife and kids come into the future through that as well?
I think so too, yeah.
I hope so. You're a great, I know you're a great guy.
Yeah.
D'Andre and I actually met through my close friend, Lizzie, who was like the first friend I met in LA, and you taught her to be a yoga teacher, right?
For sure, yep.
And so I wanted to know, like, what's it like building those community relationships with other yoga teachers, people that want to do what you do? Yeah. Because you teach a lot of people how to teach yoga.
Yeah. It's really fun because you get to be a part of, like, I know what that feels like to take a yoga class and be like, hey, this is great, you know, and you take a teacher who you look up to and you're like, that's cool. I want to do what they do. Right? It's nice to be able to hold space for them to find their own voice. I think yoga is important, and I think that, like, the more, not just yoga teachers necessarily, but I think the more people are stepping into a deeper sense of their self, I think it just makes the world a better place. And so I like to use teacher training as a platform to help people study themselves more. Like, yeah, you can learn to teach yoga, but it's really time for you to dive into yourself, as I did when I did it. And I didn't know that's what I needed. Like, yeah, I did it for a certification, but it was cool to sit for multiple days a week for some time and ask questions about yourself and challenge yourself to do things like get up in front of people and speak and, like, share yourself. That's hard.
Yeah, getting in front of people is hard.
It's hard. For a lot of people, it's really hard. And it's hard to, you know,
we're technically getting in front of people right now.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they may not be in the room, but the camera represents the audience.
Yeah.
The camera represents the people.
Yep.
The microphone represents the ears.
Yeah.
You know, even if one person watches this or 100,
Yeah.
you know, it's like that is an impression that you're leaving on somebody.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's the, you know, yoga teaching specifically has given me permission to put my growth and allow people in on what that growth looks like, you know? Because as a yoga teacher, dude, especially like with anything that you teach or when you're in front of people, you're putting yourself up to be judged, you know? And so I think yoga teaching is cool because it's helped me to hold myself accountable, you know? They're like, oh, you don't do that. And then you're like, damn, I don't. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let me, right? It keeps you accountable to what you're saying or what you're teaching or what you're offering. You have to be able to step into that. And
you don't want to be
too.
a hypocrite.
You don't want to be a hypocrite, right? And not that you ever have to be perfect, because I for sure ain't perfect. But it is a consistent reminder of like, hey, if I'm gonna try to inspire people to do something, I should inspire myself to do it too.
Follow your own advice.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's one thing to say something. It's another to actually take action on it. What is something that you have maybe held off on when it came to taking your own advice? Maybe you were giving really good advice and you knew that this was something that you're like, I need to implement this in my life, but you just never did. And maybe you do now, but maybe there's a point where you weren't.
That's a good question. I had like 5 things coming to my mind all at once. I'm gonna go with though.
Trust your gut. Choose the one that feels right.
I think it has, because it's what I'm struggling with right now. I think it's what I'm experiencing right now in my life is a little bit of imposter syndrome. I know I'm good at what I do. I have the proof and the feedback that tells me I'm good at what I do.
People are still coming back to the classes.
I have people who are like, hey, how can we help you? I've had people do that, and I've been able to actually, like I said, the yoga studio that I had, like that was people who trusted, right?
Yeah.
Even though I have the proof and the feedback, I'm still kind of like hesitant to, like, you know, if you build it, they will come. If you do it, people will watch. I'm hesitating.
Dude, I
Literally
same feelings with the podcast. It's like, I don't actually know if people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
But people do.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So I think the advice that I can take that I often hold people to explore is to just do things, right? Even if you don't feel like you can, or even if you feel like it's not going to work out, if you feel it in your heart to do it, then show up and do your best. Your best is enough, you know?
You are enough.
There we go. We're right back
full
to
circle,
it, right? And I think I've even found a lot of, you know, safety in this room.
I'm glad we're doing this here. Seriously, like this is awesome.
Yeah,
it's a little toasty, but like nothing I can't handle. I wish I wore short sleeves,
but
I mean, I got stretchy pants. This is synthetic.
Yeah, the Lululemon.
No, these are from Uniqlo.
Not that we're trying to, you know, sponsor.
Not sponsored, but like one day we will be.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to sponsor us, throw us some clothes.
But you know, I feel like I've found a lot of safety in this room, and I think sometimes I can hide out where I feel safe. You know. It is a room of growth, but also, like we always tell people, hey, take what you learned on the mat and take it out this room. I think, you know, as this room is a safe space for me to inspire people, I think I need to also take my own advice and
take what you learned on the mat,
off the mat, and into the world of business. And that's a whole new thing that I'm into right now. It's just, you know, wanting to inspire businesses to get back to like the art of like offering something amazing. We're not just here to make money. We're here to offer something amazing,
like yoga,
right? Like
we're
yoga.
Here to make people feel good.
And I think sometimes I feel bad or I feel nervous because I'm like, you know, is it all about money? If it's all about money, then I'm scared to go out there and try to, you know, get some investors or get some whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you build something cool, people will come.
That's true.
If you are good at what you do, people will. If the food is good and the vibes are right, people are going to show up and eat. You know?
The music's good, people will listen.
People will listen if it's good. And if it's relevant to where we are, right? So you have to do your homework. But I think back to the question of taking my own advice, it would be that. Hey, I've learned a lot teaching yoga in these rooms. I've learned a lot from myself. I've learned a lot from people who take class. I think it's time to go outside of the safe space and create some things, and that's scary.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that resonates with me.
Yeah.
What would you have to say to somebody that might be struggling with their masculinity?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a man to you?
Man, yeah, I've been exploring that question in the last 3 years. I think being a man means being deep in purpose, and holding space for people to feel safe, and holding space for people to feel like they're taken care of, and like they can let go because you have their back.
Yeah.
I think the strength of a man can make people feel like they can drop in and just be. And so a lot of that has to do with knowing the values that you stand on, and I can't say I grew up with a lot of values. The value was fucking just stay alive.
Survive.
Go work and make sure you make enough money to make rent, right? Those are the values that I learned, right? If you are struggling with something, keep it in the dark.
Yeah.
And don't share it, right?
Do you actually believe that, though?
I don't believe that. I'm saying that these are the values. These are the values that I've observed, right?
Yeah,
and I know that my parents and the people around me did the best they could with what they knew, right? But these are the values that I learned. So in the last 2-3 years, I've come to terms that being a man is, hey, understanding what you value and standing on those values.
Yeah.
And not wavering from it, right? Being stable and saying, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I'm going for, and
dropping into it,
and dropping into it, and making it safe for other people to do the same around you, because they see how stable you are, how strong you are, how emotionally stable you are.
I think it's perfect time for us to go into another segment, and then we're actually moving into the final questions after that.
Cool.
This segment is more about. This is something I've never done before. I thought you could be good at this.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if you could guide us through a Shavasana.
Sweet.
If you want, we can still stay in the blocks,
Yeah.
but I thought maybe we could give the listeners a time to rest, or the viewers.
Yeah.
So I'll let you drive.
Sweet.
And I'll be.
You'll be the student.
I'll be the student.
Let's do it. I'm gonna have you get as comfortable as you can.
Sure.
So you can put the mic down, take off the headphones, assuming you can get right back into it if you want.
Yeah, I can.
Cool. And I'm gonna have you just lay down on your mat. Feel free to join in if you'd like. The key here, get comfortable. If it's not comfortable for you to lay down with your legs long, bend your knees. That's cool. You can do whatever you want with your hands. Sometimes in yoga classes, we like to have the hands by the sides. Other times we'll place a hand on the heart, the other on the belly. Whatever it is that feels intuitive and that allows you to drop in. Close your eyes if you haven't done so yet. And as you close your eyes, just take a moment to just be here. You don't have to do anything, think anything, accomplish anything. What does it feel like to just be present? That sounds nice in theory, right? Sometimes it's nice to be present, easy to be present. Other times you have things on your mind. But either way, allow yourself to be present with what is. And we'll take a few breaths together. So first, completely exhale everything out. Through your nose, take a big breath in. And then open mouth exhale. Another one just like that in. And a big breath out. Continue to just let your breath be what it is now. I'm always reminded every now and then of a favorite quote of mine, and that quote is as follows: you are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. You are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. I like this quote because it gives you permission to be an expert. You've been here on this earth for as long as you've been here. You know things. Move as if you know those things. Feel confident in what you know. put that stuff to the test. But you can also be a work in progress. You never have to have everything all figured out or together. No one ever does. So it allows you to be open to learning, curious as to what you don't know. And with both of these together simultaneously, it allows you to just feel a sense of softness and presence. Strong, yes. You're going to make moves, but it allows you to just drop into the moment. Learn from what's hard. Enjoy what's easy. So may you remember this. You're allowed to be a masterpiece, perfect the way you are, and you're allowed to be a work in progress at the same time. Take 15 seconds to just let that sink into your muscles, your bones, your joints, your cells, your subconscious mind. No matter where you are, as we've said, there's this feeling of being enough. You have time to grow and time to enjoy. So even if it's just for this 1 second, can you feel this sense of okayness? And we'll take a breath. Exhale everything out. One more together. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Feel calm, strong, feel intuitive, feel proud. Start to gently wiggle your fingers and toes and start to get some life back into your body. Eventually take a full body stretch. And you'll hug your knees into your chest and then slowly bring your way up to a comfortable seat. And then hands to heart. With the hands to heart, just merging everything that you are with the consistency of your heart. As long as you're alive, may you feel capable. May you feel like you are on the right path. You're always where you need to be. One more breath in. And out. And that is our Shavasana, friends.
Namaste. That was great. Let me get these blocks back in place. Headphones back on.
How did that feel?
I am relaxed.
Good.
I feel rested.
Yeah.
You need to experience that. You know what I mean?
I need to experience the rest I give to other people.
You need to rewatch this episode and play along with your own guided Shavasana.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do, because that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was guided meditation or guided Shavasana with D'Andre Clayton. D'Andre, time for the big final questions, and then I'll ask the final question.
Yeah.
But first, we'll build up to it. D'Andre, if you could time travel to the future and meet 80-year-old D'Andre, he's 80 years old, he's old, and ask him for a word of advice, what would you ask? And what do you think he'd say?
Yeah. I think 80-year-old me would say, drop into flow state. Have fun. Look for ways to just do what you enjoy and what you feel good at, what you feel passionate about, and everything else will fall into place. Do what you are called to do. Do what you feel good at. If you feel interested, interest turns into learning, turns into mastery. Get into a place of where you can do things that you know you're good at. And you don't have to try too hard. Let interest and curiosity lead the way.
Interest and curiosity lead the way. Now, the next question, I want you to kind of protect yourself on this.
Yeah.
If you don't want to answer it, it's okay. If you could give advice to 8-year-old you, what would you say to him?
That's interesting. I haven't really felt emotional like this in a while. I would say you are enough. And people have their own lives and they got a lot of stuff that they're dealing with. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you, and it doesn't mean that you are abandoned. Even when it feels like you are abandoned, people don't intend to. They're just dealing with their own stuff.
We're all people.
Yep, we're all people, and just because it feels like someone is abandoning you, it doesn't mean they're abandoning you, and that doesn't mean that you are not worthy of love or growth or care or any of that stuff. Happiness. Everyone's doing the best that they can with what they have, and you are special, even if it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault, you know. That's what I would tell 8-year-old me, and that's what I would tell 37-year-old me.
He knows.
Right now.
He knows.
Yeah.
Got to remind yourself, but he knows.
Yeah.
D'Andre, what are some habits that you think other people could implement into their life to feel better on a daily basis?
Definitely sitting and breathing. I think that as small as it sounds and as hard as it may be, I think being able to sit in a place day in and day out for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you feel like you can, and just breathing, it literally controls your nervous system. It calms you, it soothes you. It allows you to purge stuff out. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but as you start to do it more and more, you'll start to notice this different connection you have with calm. Definitely sitting and breathing and some type of movement that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be a yoga class. Yoga classes are amazing because it's catered to strength and flexibility, but do something that moves your body, that gets things moving, and just sit and breathe. If you got to do it guided, do it guided. If you want to just do it with no music, do it whatever you got to do. Sit and breathe and get used to just being able to sit without needing to react.
I do. Do you know what TM is?
Transcendental meditation. Cool. Yeah.
I had to take a class on it. They give you your own chakra.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to share it with anybody because it's like everyone has their own thing, similar to like everyone has their own fingerprint.
Yep.
So it's something that I repeat to myself, and that's my form of sitting and breathing.
Gotcha.
Really.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. Yeah. It was popularized by David Lynch, the late David Lynch. He just passed away, which is a famous film director, and he quoted John Lennon, and which is what made me want to take the class in the first place. And he said John Lennon was out in India around the time when they were making Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, on top of Rubber Soul and the other albums that they made, and there's a lot of Eastern mindset influence on those albums, but on the Let It Be album they made a song called Across the Universe, and Across the Universe has this quote, it's kind of the chorus of the song, where it says, nothing is going to change my world. Nothing's going to change my world. But what David Lynch found was that John Lennon wasn't trying to say that like nothing's going to change my world, like I'm set in my ways.
Yeah.
What he was saying was that experiencing nothing would allow you to experience everything.
Yeah.
And that's what would change his world.
Yeah.
And so meditation or TM or headspace, all of these avenues are ways for us as people to experience nothing.
Yeah.
Silence, stillness, no thoughts, nothing. And for some reason, our body feels more at home when we do that.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah. And it's okay for you to feel things, right? As you learn to sit through it, whether it's, hey, I'm going to sit for longer than I want, or I'm going to do this over and over until I get better at it. Eventually, you start to learn that all the little thoughts that come in, they aren't you, and so you can they start to kind of fall away. Yeah. And then that's where you start to experience the nothingness and nothingness sounds scary, but like it's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm here. I don't need that to happen. I don't need this to happen. I'm just here and I'm here. And I think I'm learning still that's a lot of the key to a lot of things.
I think it's the one answer to the question of like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And maybe it's just to breathe, just exist. Yeah. The answer will come when you stop asking the question.
You got it. Yeah.
You know what? You're like filling the world with your own words, not giving an opportunity for the world to like answer what you're asking.
Yep. You the amount of things that have happened in my life, your life, everyone's life that came out of nowhere that you couldn't have expected. Like you can't try to like predict or overly plan. Like you have to be, and then things come, and you have to be in a space where you can accept that.
Yeah.
And that becomes it becomes the key to experiencing your own enlightenment, your own growth, your own, whatever that is for you.
It's life.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the final question?
Let's do it.
D'Andre Clayton, would you care to share a word before we leave? It doesn't have to be one word. You can say as much as you want, but what's the final thing you want to say to the world for the podcast?
My motto is trust the process. And just a little explanation on it. Trust, when you trust something, you're able to go with it. We get on roller coasters all the time, and we trust that the engineers have done their homework. A lot of times we don't ask for any, hey, who built this and what's their certifications? We just trust it. And we go along for the ride. After we get off the ride, even if it was scary, you're just like, whew, I'm glad I did that. Or, wow, that was fun. Let me do it again. Trust is huge because it just allows you to be guided and pulled by whatever it is that you believe is helping you do that. And the process is what it is. It's the highs, it's the lows, it's the mids. And as you trust all of it, you start to see in hindsight that you are always exactly where you were meant to be.
Yeah.
The worst things can be the best things, and the best things may appear to be the worst things that turn into the best things. You just never really know. So I think it's trusting the process is huge for me.
D'Andre Clayton, trust the process. You're not the first person to say that for their word before we leave. Yeah,
Credit.
Jack Schutte said the same thing.
Yeah.
That was
Jack, we're on the same page.
Jack, if you're watching this episode, trust the process. That's a good reminder for everyone out here. I think the longer I do this podcast, the more I start to realize, while everybody is, I believe this, everybody is completely different. No one person is the same. We are all very similar. We all experience life in very similar ways. And if we can find a way to understand ourselves, we might have a better way of understanding the people around us.
Yeah.
And if we understand the people around us and ourselves better, I think we start to shoulder this good neighbor mentality.
Yeah.
We start to love people a little bit deeper. We start treating people as if they're the most important person in the room, because that's how I'd want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
I start treating everybody like they matter because they do matter.
Yeah.
Who knows? Your impact on this interview could inspire somebody to get out of a rut. Could inspire somebody to do something with their day. Could inspire someone to take a yoga class.
Yeah.
And that could become a life. Mm-hmm. You took one yoga class.
Yeah.
And now we're doing a podcast in a yoga studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it.
It's crazy.
That's
right.
The time that has passed has led to this, and it's leading to more.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to say a few quick thank yous, and that's the episode. Thank you to D'Andre Clayton for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you to everyone that's been a part of the new season. I want to say thank you to my roommates for putting up with me, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, Rick Alloway for inspiring the podcast. And I want to say thank you to you, the listener. Maybe you too can stretch your body and breathe today. This has been Brett Gaffney and
D'Andre Clayton.
And you just watched or listened to a word before we leave. Normally, I close a door to end the episode, but I think it'd be best to just get up and leave the shot.
Sounds good.
Cool.
We out.
We out.